I'm traveling, so naturally I'm taking with me my travel wheel and the leftover Zwartbles bats from Tour de Vlies. Ideally, at the end of this vacation, I have another sweater's worth of Zwartbles yarn, because Zwartbles yarn is the best yarn and the hype is actually real. So my travel wheel is this Louët S40, also known as the Louët Hatbox, because as you can see, it has the shape of a hatbox, though it does not contain a hat, it contains a spinning wheel. I have another video on my channel where I entirely explain how this wheel works and what it does and everything, but for now I will show you quickly. This is the drive wheel and the treadle. But you need more than that, of course, to start spinning, but everything is neatly sealed into the lid of the box. There we go, our flyer assembly, and as you can see, yes, I have already spun a little bobbin. Oops, the other way around. No, like this. Since the drive wheel is like perpendicular to me, I actually don't have to look at the drive wheel to determine which way I'm spinning. I actually have to look here at the flyer. And I want to spin counterclockwise because, you know, that's what works best with my knitting style, I think. So we're going like this. Need a little bit more break. There we go. During Tour de Vlies, I spun my Zwartbles yarn really bulky, and my plan for this remnant of the bats is actually to spin more like a DK weight, you know, my more usual type of yarn, so that at least I have two structurally and texturally different projects with all of that Zwartbles fleece. I think that would be the most interesting. Now, secondly, for this plan is just to get to know this wheel a little bit better, because actually this is just the second time I've been spinning on it. First time was when I got it. I've been in like this waiting mode of this is a travel wheel, so I can of course only spin with it when I am traveling, or at least on some kind of a trip or a hike or something, and that is absolutely stupid, of course, but it is just the way my brain works sometimes. So I have been patiently awaiting the time for us to go on the trip to France, and then yay, I could take my travel wheel. I've got two adequately filled bobbins. Since these bobbins are so small, I feel very accomplished by having already two filled ones, and I can go plying. This is a completely different experience from Tour de Vlies, when I had, like, I'm not exaggerating, this big Louët bobbins. Yeah, let's ply. Now, normally the Hatbox has an internal lazy kate or hard-working kate, but that one on my specimen, my Abbie, as I have named it, is broken. So I brought my S40 hard-working kate to do the job for me. The bobbins should just about fit, almost. It's going to be tight, but let's see if we can do this. It's a tight squeeze, but they're on there and they can still turn. Nice. A little update on the lazy kate system. While the top part of my S40 lazy kate works, the lower part is yeah, that's too tight. I really had to tug my yarn really hard to get it to roll off the bobbin. That wasn't the way, but now I have MacGyvered the system where it works. I can ply my yarn. Is it perfect? No, of course not. It takes up a lot more space than it should, but yay, we're plying. Well, dang it, that's a lost game of bobbin chicken for you. And I still have quite a ways to go. And you know what I actually didn't bring? A niddy noddy. That was the smartest move I made. So now I'll have to wind this off the bobbin like by hand on my arm before I can continue. I think that's the only way. We've got two little skeins. One was about something around 75 to 80 meters and this one is around 60 meters. So let's say that we have at least 130 meters of Zwartbles already. That is very good. I'll see you on another moment on this trip. Maybe I'll also like intersperse the spinning with just some interesting things that I come along on these 2 weeks. Who knows? It's just going to be a silly little vlog. A little change of plans. The plans are not going to be to just make a video where I make a sweater's quantity worth of Zwartbles yarn. No, I'm not going to put such crazy limitations on myself. I want to make this video just a log of every craft I do while on vacation, because of course my hands are never still. I'm always crafting, even when I'm in the car. Like, I'm working on this pair of socks that you may or may not remember from a previous video where I started them, and I'm now on the second afterthought heel, so I'm almost finished. I'm going to include this in this video as well, and then I also have a little bit of spindle spinning that I'm going to do, and you know, for that sweater quantity as well, if it's less than that, that's just fine as well. Putting such limitations on myself is just not in the spirit of the holiday. I just craft all the time and I want to share it with you guys, but I'm not going to put myself a fixed goal. So I just hope it still is enjoyable. But for now, we're going to finish these socks. So I finished my Malabrigo socks. Pattern from the 52 Weeks of Socks Volume 2 book that I have at home. I can't remember the name of the pattern, but here it is. Here they are, my socks. However, I do think they could stand to have been knit with a needle size larger. Not for a more comfortable fit, because I do like a snug fit on my socks, so for me these actually fit very nicely. However, the pattern gets a little bit lost when you stretch it like that, and just aesthetically that's a little bit of a pity. So I'm going to ponder over these socks, whether or not I will frog them and redo them to make them look a little bit more aesthetically pleasing. But I can't do that right now because I simply do not have a larger needle size with me here in France. So I have all the time to think about that decision until we are back in Belgium. Or maybe if you have an opinion, let me know. Now, it's not that the pattern is really clear with just a very chaotic yarn either, but something to think about. Now, this Malabrigo yarn is this skein that keeps on giving. I still have this much left, so of course I want to make more socks. When we visited Karnak a couple of days ago, there was a yarn store that had a clearance sale, so of course I bought a couple of sock yarn skeins to complement this yarn. And during our car rides to various destinations around the Gulf de Morbihan in Brittany, I have started another sock. I think this one is called Moncini by Designs from Mars. And I'm not quite sure whether I would say that the combination of the green background with the Malabrigo, you know, very low contrast color choice over there, is a genius move, or if in the end I will want to change it. I don't know. Right now I'm quite liking it actually. It's subtle. It's not contrasting the Malabrigo, just complementing it. I don't know if that makes any sense, but that was my train of thought. But anyway, this is my car project. Let's get back to the Zwartbles. Just a little second thoughts about my car project. I have issues getting it over my heels, so maybe I will have to just start over. Yeah, I think I will have to start over. This is too tight. I don't have bigger needles, so I will have to cast on more stitches to make this not too tight. That's another tight squeeze on that bobbin. Don't think I could have like spun 10 meters more. There is almost no space between the hooks and the yarn. Tiny bobbins, this one. And this is skein, or well, little nest, little ball number 4 of this trip. I didn't exactly count how many meters, because frankly I don't care how many meters this is exactly. I just want nice Zwartbles yarn. Right. This is nice Zwartbles yarn. Fourth skein from the second bat. I have now done 2 bats, which is funny because, you know, during Tour de Vlies, 1 skein was 2 bats. Goes to show how large my Louët S71 bobbins are in comparison to this Louët S40.
Hoezo?
Sock update. So, as I said, this sock was too small, couldn't get it over my heel, so I frogged it back to the ribbing, added some more stitches, and now we're nearing the heel turn. And yes, Of course, why did I even doubt myself? The low contrast between my variegated yarn and the background of my color work, that was a genius move. Genius move. Look at it. It's such a good sock. It looks so good. So excited. And today we visited La Gacerie, which also has a yarn store, and I bought more sock yarn for other socks because that kind of has become my thing to buy on holiday, just sock yarn. Like, I can always make socks. I never get tired of knitting socks, and I always need more socks because can you actually have too many socks? I don't think you can. And you know, it's a ball of sock yarn that can also be a hat if I prefer, or a scarf if I prefer, but socks is always an option. I don't know if these socks will get finished though on this holiday, because today is Wednesday. It's Wednesday, my dudes. And on Saturday we will be leaving back for Belgium, so it might be that you just see this much progress on this sock in this video, but then again, this is just a holiday vlog. I hope you're having fun, like being on a holiday with me. As it is our final afternoon here in Bretagne, and we are in the process of stowing away our belongings into nice little packages that can be put into the car tomorrow morning 6 a.m. so we can drive back all the way to Belgium, I think it is time that I give you a final, maybe not so final, overview of all the crafts that I have been doing this past vacation, because that was this video, right? This was craft with me on my holiday. I am aware this was a very chaotic kind of video with all kinds of clips going everywhere and nowhere. I am sending the best of luck to future Jente for editing this, and courage to you for watching this. And these are the 4 little skeins of Zwartbles yarn that I spun on my Louët S40, the Hatbox little travel wheel. It's not a sweater quantity. That was actually a really silly thought of me that I would do that. Not great planning on my behalf. Well, I'm really glad for these, and this is just the start of more, because I will eventually still want that sweater quantity of more Zwartbles yarn. That is just... that's a given. Anyway, these 4 skeins didn't really make a dent in the bads that I brought here. So that's really funny. Just the box still does not close. But we do have 4 little skeins. I think they are all about 80 meters in length, somewhere around that. So that's 320 meters of DK weight, I think, approximately. That's how it looks. Zwartbles yarn. Very soft and squishy, as Zwartbles is wont to be. I have, over the course of these 2 weeks, also been spinning on my little Turkish spindle for a little bit. You see, it's not that spectacular of a turtle, but it's some spinning after all. Some of it was wind powered, most of it wasn't. This purple wool, by the way, I did not mention it because I think all of the clips that I made of spinning on this spindle were silent. This purple wool was gifted to me by Cheyenne, and she dyed it herself. It's really soft and drafts really nicely. And just look at my pretty turtle. I am very proud of it. And I have now turned the heel on my Mimiko socks. Now, I think my yarn is at the point where it is not continuing to give. It's not keeping on giving, because it's actually turning into a small ball of yarn. And I don't think this is enough to make exactly these socks once more. So what I'm thinking of doing is making purposefully matching non-matching socks. As in, I will make the same pattern, but I will switch the two greens. In my second sock, I will have this variegated green as the background on the collarwork, and then have the plain green as the structured bit. I think that will look intentional and not just like she ran out of yarn. Anyway, I do think this will be my car project tomorrow when we drive 8.5 hours back to Belgium. However, I do have another long-term project that wasn't in this video that maybe could use 8 hours of working on it as well, but I feel more joy towards the socks. So I think it's going to be the socks. Maybe I will have another pair when we arrive in Belgium, and if we do, then I will surely keep you updated on it. So these will be my holiday socks, these Mimiko socks. That's it for now, I think. I just filmed this bit so I could, you know, fold in the tripod and put everything away. If I see you again on this video, then it will be when we are back in Belgium. Or in the car maybe. You know, if I want to film in the car. Who knows? You will. About now. Hallo België! As you can see, we're back in our trusted environment. We're back in Belgium. And here is where we're at with the socks. Yep, I finished this one, and I'm now actually kind of at a point where I was with this sock when we left Bretagne. So I can say that one trip Bretagne, Belgium is approximately one sock. What do you think about my color switching? Was this a successful endeavor? I don't know. I think they will be really cool socks when they're done, and I realize that I must apologize for anyone who was really excited for this to be a spinning video, that it devolved into a sock knitting video. But it was my holiday, and I think on vacation you just do whatever the hell you want, and at some points that just wasn't spinning for me. Even though the Louët S40 is a travel wheel and thus has a small footprint, sometimes it was still too clunky to spin with it. As in, we didn't really have a really big vacation home, so I'd rather take it outside with me, not to be in the way of my parents-in-law and stuff. But it was a rainy 2 weeks over in Bretagne, which people living there will probably recognize that it is very rainy all of the time. Like it's just Belgian weather. So I didn't have as much opportunities to spin outside, and I didn't feel like spinning inside. That's why I didn't get all that much spinning in. Also, I don't know if you recognize this feeling, but when you're on a holiday, it seems like a day has less than 24 hours. You want to accomplish so many things. You want to visit all the cool stuff, you want to just relax, read a bit, spin a bit, knit a bit, do all the cool stuff. And apparently there are less hours in a holiday day than there are in a workday day. How many times have I said day in this sentence? Anyway. Yeah, and then just sock knitting was something I could do in the car. And while it is portable, I cannot take the Hatbox Wheel with me in the car to spin while someone else is driving. That's just not possible. So again, apologies if you wanted this to be a spinning video. It is now a sock knitting video. I will continue this sock off camera. because I want a finished pair, of course, but it is not in the constraints of this video to finish it when I'm already at home. This was a holiday vlog. And I think that is all I have to say about my 2 weeks in Bretagne. I hope you enjoyed coming along. And now for the coming weeks, it'll be back to regularly scheduled shenanigans. And if you're up for that, and maybe like these kind of fiber shenanigans, then maybe you could like, comment or subscribe. But of course that is all up to you. And as for me, I will see you in a next video. But before we do that, here are some more spinning or knitting shenanigans. Bye!